Welcome to Riley Everyday on the Sleepers Media YouTube channel. And today we have our first ever guest. It's sophomore point guard from Alabama, Labaron Philon. And a little bit of background on him. He was a top 35 recruit out of Link Academy, but proved very quickly to be underranked. He came out firing last season and scored in double figures in 8 of Alabama's first 11 games, logged 9 assists in 2 of those contests as well, and went on to help guide the Tide to a 2 seed and a spot in the Elite Eight. Made the freshman all SEC team in the process. So, LeBaron, appreciate having you on today, man. How's the summer been going since you've been back in Tuscaloosa?
It's been really fun, just competing with the new guys and new brand of team we got and just trying to bring everything together and just work as we can. So getting ready, just to prepare and get better every day.
Good to hear, man. How long have you been back?
I've been back for a little minute. I mean, ever since I came back from the process, I came back and started practicing immediately. So it was fun just to do that and come back and practice right away.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit with the NBA draft process. I, like many people in the media, we assumed you were gone. We thought this was a foregone conclusion. You were going to see the process through. Then all of a sudden, it's the 11th hour right before the deadline. See that notification on Twitter. I thought it was fake at first. When I see LeBaron Philon will come back to Alabama, take me through that process a little bit and even what ultimately led to your decision to return.
I think all along, it was going to come down to me making a decision. I think, my parents and, everybody in the staff was behind me. So I really didn't rush through it. I said what was on my mind at the moment. I probably said some things that was taken a little bit extra too far, but, it came all together for me. So I was just happy just, to see that I had that plan and see that I had that, right in front of me and be able to do both, go through the process and come back and play for Alabama. Alabama basketball really means a lot to me. So just like going through that process, really, I stayed connected with all the coaches and, I never gave them a tip of what I was going to do anyway. So
Uh-huh.
they was really surprised. And when I announced I was coming back, all the guys, they was really happy and they took me in like I been here before, which, I have. So it wasn't like for me, it really wasn't a shocker, but for them, it was really surprising. So
So what was Nate Oates' response when you told him you were coming back?
I don't know. He just called me. He was kind of shocked a little bit, but he was just like he came through a party at midnight, so
Oh, there you go.
I go to sleep on some good news. You
Uh-huh.
know,
Uh-huh.
he told me like once I called, it was like you told me you was coming back. I was going to a party at midnight. It was like about late at night when he called me back. So it was really fun just to see that and just be on the phone with Coach Preston too before the
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Preston, he seemed like he was pretty key into even your recruitment to get to Tuscaloosa, so I bet he was happy. But I want to speak specifically a little bit about how you've been working on your game since the season ended. What parts especially have you been, getting in the lab and trying to fine tune a little bit?
really just shooting, really just like really being able to be a high level 3-point shooter. I think a lot of things that I missed out on last season is going to come into play this season. With everything being filled out and a lot of more space being on the floor with all the guys that around me that can shoot the ball really well, it's going to allow for me to create open looks for them and, just get downhill while I can and really just keep doing the same thing I did last year, but just like more of a leader and being vocal more, really.
Yeah, kind of going off of that with you, from my vantage point, it looks like you're stepping in as that floor leader. You're going to have the ball in your hands a ton. This kind of circles back to a conversation I had with Grant Nelson last year. We had him on for our draft show, and I asked him who was the player who impressed you the most in the offseason workouts, and your name was the first that he mentioned. And at the time, remember, y'all had added Cliff Amorie, you had five-star Darion Reed coming in, and an All-American returning to Mark Sear. So I was like, come on now, it's really Philon, but you proved him right and proved me wrong very quickly. But I want to ask you that same question. As you're taking on this role of leading the charge, of running the offense, which of your teammates have impressed you the most since you've been back?
Since I've been back, for me, it's been, some of the new guys that we bring in, like Amari Allen, he's really long and he's a tall, like physical guard. So and he's like 6'6", so it really like he got good size. Davion got good size. London can really shoot the ball really, just for like a wing. Like he really shoots it like a point guard, two guard can.
Hmm.
And just all the other guys that we picked up, they've been doing really good since they got here and just trying to learn. And us the returners, we've been trying to teach them the ropes and get them what Coach Oates expects, in every practice and what's, expected of them and the level of play we need them to get to. But yeah, and that I would say Grant naming my name in the last all season is really just because, coming in, if you're going to be a primary ball handler, you got to be, a little bit polished and know where you know where you're going with things a little bit. And I think I do a calmly good job at that, and I don't rush anything like that for real. So this year is really going to be fun to see me, go out there and just step into that role. And I can't wait till the season starts. So.
Yeah, going off of that, I'm curious, just going back and even watching some Alabama games last year, particularly in the non-conference, it seemed like there were moments where Mark Sears was cool with you running the show, and you would think maybe fifth year guy who's been to a Final Four, earned a spot on an All-American team, there'd be a little bit of like, oh, this young guy can't come in and infringe on my turf, essentially. But was there any sort of mentorship role from him to you, or even like, I would even ask, did you surprise yourself with how many of the primary ball handling duties you earned so quickly?
Nah, I wasn't really surprised because I think once I first came in, they seen that we was going head to head. Me and Mark going head to head every day. It was like, we all just build a bind, and me, him, and the coaches, we just like whoever had the ball, it was just going to be it. It was like no level of, that kind of mixture in it. It was just like whoever had the ball, bring it down, and we can just see what our offense go from there. But really just like as a good great teammate and me, I don't really care playing on and off the ball. But I show a level of respect that I treat all my teammates. So that's a great thing to see that he will still be able to be a fifth year leader and still teach me at the same time, teaching me the ropes. So now I just try to, when I'm back, try to do that to the new guys and just try to show the level of respect when I first got here that he gave me to those guys. So it's really like in a culture for real. So when I got here, it was a great experience.
That's good to hear. And I think, even looking at the way that Nate Oates runs his system, it seems like it's easy for multiple ball handlers to thrive. Like with this year, I'm expecting it to be you and Jaleel and Aiden Holloway back in the fold as well. But I want to talk a little bit more about his system. I know, again, it's like a common belief among both fans and media that, Oates doesn't want anything other than shots at the rim or shots from beyond the arc. But I wanted to ask you, what's it like to actually play for him, and how does he instill those principles and those philosophies?
It's intense, I would say. And I think, you kind of see what players really fit into the system as the season go along, just because, the pace we play at and the type of competition we play, it really shows, and it's really like all the games are high level, and like, you can be beat at any level, any game. So I would say, the ones that playing for him, if you really got it in you, is really going to show because he's going to bring it out of you. So, and all the guys been doing a great job at that. And I think, once the season gets rolling, we're really going to see who's going to be, you know, those guys out there and ready to go. So I think, being coached by him is special. And that's one of the main reasons why, I came back.
Mhm. Cool, cool. Well, we'll close this interview with a couple rapid fire questions. First, I want to look back to last year. Who was the toughest player you had to guard?
At practice or like on another team.
You can give me both at practice and on another team.
Practice, I would say Biz, just because he's super crafty and they give us a lot of freedom. So it's really hard to guard him in space. This year, I would say some of the new guys like Mari and Jalil for sure.
Hmm.
And last year, opponent wise, I would say. mm, It was a lot. We played a lot of people. I get some of my favorite games. Some of my favorite games was some of the ones from the Player Areas tournament. Those
Hmm.
games were very fun. And we going back to that tournament, so we was in the championship game, and it slipped away. But I'm hoping to see us there again. I think it's a really loaded tournament this year, so it's really like high level games all through the day. So that's a
Hmm.
really good tournament they put together.
Cool. And what about which player are you most looking forward to playing against this year?
This year, probably all my teammates that transfer really to
Hmm.
other SEC schools. Yeah.
Was
It's gonna be really fun. I mean, we all still talk to each other to this day. I mean, it's all love, but those guys at different schools now, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be trying to take our heads off too. So when we
so
get
you
on the
look.
court, it's no friends once we step on the court.
So I was looking a little bit even at like the Kentucky game. You played at Link with Jasper, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you'll be going against him and Mo Diabate. I bet that'll be fun. One game I have circled is just obviously you playing against Auburn this year, which that rivalry is going to bring the juice any year. But with both you and Tahad Pettiford coming back, y'all are the two sophomore breakouts. You're the ones I'm expecting to see y'all's names on preseason All American lists. I think for me personally, that's what I'm looking the most forward to. But I don't know if you had any other guys that you had circled, but. I won't make you give any more bulletin board material out, but we can close with what does a successful season look like for you and for Alabama?
For me personally, it's just like coming back, being able to be a great leader and lead us over that hump, just to get over the hump of the Elite Eight, make it back to a Final Four, really. And we all, every team in the country got the same goal, so I'm not even going to say it right now. It's too early. Some of the that goal is won. Coach O say that goal is won on some of these days in the summer. So we're just trying to get better, but I would say for our team. Our goal is to, just keep being a winning team, keep being us, don't change nothing, and have the identity that when someone step on the floor is, we ready to scrap up at all times. And for me, like I said, just be more of a leader and just like lead my team to great things. So
Cool. Well, I appreciate you, Lil Baron. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
thank you.